Welcome back to Let the Quran Speak. I have with me Hamza Moin from ManiacMuslim.com. Hamza, why does the notion of Muslims being in the arts seem like a contradiction?
I really don't know why that seems like a contradiction, but funny enough, there's a lot of criticism in the community. So for Muslims who are trying to get involved in poetry or spoken word, or they want to write a song in a rap form, or even doing comedy, there's a lot of dissent. And I guess it's due to that they might wrongfully be interpreting certain ayahs from the Quran or hadith that say, like, Muslims shouldn't laugh too hard. That's right. Like, we shouldn't laugh too much. But at the same time, there's a certain balance that Muslims need to kind of find. And I find that, that's what I try to do with the website or with the comedies, try to make people laugh, but at the same time, they're getting some sort of lesson, some sort of moral. So they're not totally wasting their time with the website.
So do you think Muslims don't laugh too much? Don't laugh enough, I guess?
I find that they don't laugh enough, yes. Especially doing stand-up comedy. When I started doing stand-up comedy a few years ago, and I perform at crowds where the audience would just stare up blankly at me. And then they tell me afterward, that's hilarious. I'm like, why weren't you laughing? We're laughing on the inside. It doesn't really help a stand-up comedian if you're laughing on the inside.
So you decided to switch focuses on your, in terms of the idea of Maniac Muslim. You put out an article saying, well, I'm no longer Maniac Muslim, it's bigger than me.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, I'm trying to move Maniac Muslim away from being synonymous with Hamza Moin. It used to be a place where if you want to read Hamza Moin's articles, you'd go to Maniac Muslim. But I want to make it bigger than that. I want to make it so other people can kind of be maniac Muslims in their own way, whether it's through their own art forms like poetry, spoken word, music, filmmaking. There's a whole bunch of up-and-coming Muslim entertainers that they're extremely talented, but they just don't have a platform or an avenue for them to kind of share their work. So that's what I hope Maniac Muslim will do.
So how would you define Muslim art then?
It's
what makes it Muslim, I guess?
It's pretty flexible in that sense. Anything that I find, I'm not sure there's a real Webster definition for Muslim art, but I find it's anything that's good and wholesome and doesn't really contradict anything within our religion. Obviously there's certain do's and do nots you can do like that pertain to Muslim arts. Things like if someone wants to write a song, they obviously shouldn't include anything with lewd lyrics or anything with a lot of profanity. But if they write a song that's a little bit more wholesome, that's something else altogether. That could pertain to be Muslim art in a way.
Now you mentioned that you're sort of switching focus, right? We talked about that a little bit earlier.
Right.
What are you trying to achieve through that switch in focus, from comedy to something broader, the arts?
I guess for me it would be comedy is one thing. Some people are big on it, other people are not. What I hope to do by including things like poetry, spoken word, music, filmmaking, it will attract a wider range of people, as well as by getting all these performers under one roof. We can kind of start doing live events all over the country, all over UK, Canada, US, and try to get people, even local people can kind of do their own little talent shows and kind of get the ball rolling through that way.
Are you trying to also move beyond entertainment to sort of, better people in some way? Because it seems like the shift from comedy to the arts is more about touching the soul.
I find you can better people through the arts, right? So if someone's main talent is giving khutbahs or doing giving speeches or writing books, they might get inspired by listening to a poet or listening to a comedian. So hopefully in a way that can, in an indirect way, help out other people who are not really involved in arts, but they just get inspired through the arts.
What is your advice to young people who are, considering a similar path to yourself? Because obviously many people read your articles around the world. They might be interested in some of the things that you're also doing, some of the articles that you're writing. They might be interested in taking the same path. What would your advice be?
They should embrace it full 100%. If they wanted to try it out, if they were like, I want to see maybe I want to try a poem or I want to try writing something. Absolutely, just write it. Do whatever you can, get it out there, make a film, write, sing a song.
How do they deal with this culture that kind of sees art as something peripheral, not really that important?
I guess that's what we'll need to do as a community, to start creating more inclusive things that allows people to embrace those arts a little bit better. So you're starting to see organizations now that are a little bit more that are warming up to the art. So people aren't really going to be a bit more weary about it. They can kind of see that there's a lot of Muslim artists performing, that they're performing all over the country, and hopefully that'll encourage them to kind of join them.
Now, is your site geared towards Muslims or non-Muslims as well?
I mean, right now, primarily the content is geared towards Muslims. I do find that I'm trying to write it in a way that non-Muslims can still read it, and hopefully, even when they read it, it'll clear up some misconceptions, because they might have some misconceptions that we're all serious, we don't laugh at all. So hopefully with the website, they can kind of see that through, as well as seeing things like poetry, the music, filmmaking, and they can see that Muslims are pretty creative as well.
When is the new face of the website coming out? When will it be there for us to
I
see?
hope it'll be sometime this summer, hopefully
Okay.
end of July, early August, God willing. And I really hope people can kind of take a liking to this new website.
And the site is maniacmuslim.com.
maniacmuslim.com. I'm going to try to put a counter up there pretty soon so people have an idea of when exactly it'll be launched.
All right, is there anything else you'd like to say to viewers? Tell us about your shirt.
I do shirts as well. With me, I have a clothing line that I'm trying to do.
Okay.
This particular shirt, it says al-Moz in Arabic, which means banana.
Okay.
So in brackets, just to make sure people know, it says relax, it says banana. So I think this is the type of shirt that I would wear to an airport. So
Except you haven't worn it to an airport
I haven't
yet.
worn it to an airport because I'm still a bit scared.
Okay.
And I think that hopefully shirts like this will allow us to start wearing shirts that are written in Arabic. Because a lot of people are paranoid, like, hey, you shouldn't wear a shirt that's written in Arabic, otherwise you can get pulled over on the airplane or whatever. So hopefully things like this would hopefully let the airport security people realize we're not all bad.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the Jews in the 20th century where they used humor to sort of dissipate some of the anti-Semitism
That's right.
that they're facing. Or
For
we're sort of doing the same thing.
Exactly, and that's what I'm trying to do in the Muslim sense.
It was a pleasure having you. Thank you
very much.
That's all the time we have on the show. You can visit our website, www.quranspeaks.com. Send us your comments, your suggestions, and your donations. I'm Sophia Ali. For all of us here at Let the Quran Speak, thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.